Elgin and Winter Garden Theatre, Toronto, Canada.
Mm-hmm.
It was opened in the 1913 and is the last functioning double-decker theater in the world. As name suggests, two theaters were built on top of each other in same building. Back then, peasants watched shows in the lower section, while high society did in the nicer section.
Wow.
The Saban?
How's it spelled, baby?
C-B-U-H-N-E. It has like two little dots over the U.
Okay, it's German, so I can't help you. It's probably Saboon. Something like that.
Sorry for torturing your word, guys. Austria. Center.
I think it was a great try.
Yeah, definitely a great try. Once you put those those umlauts over a U, like
Dad's lost.
I'm done.
And so am I.
It is a floating stage on the shores of Lake Constance with 7,000 seats.
Wow.
Since 1946, it has been used for large-scale opera or musical performances during the Brigands Festival.
Yeah.
Minack Theatre, Cornwall, England.
Wow.
What makes the Minack incredible is the amazing view of the Porthcurno, spelled Porthcurno.
Porthcurno, yeah. It could be pronounced differently because Cornwall, I believe, is in Wales, and if so, then it could be Welsh, and Welsh words are different.
They use letters that don't belong.
Something like that, yeah.
Where they put a lot of letters together that don't seem to go together. Like LJK, all like together. I don't know how you pronounce that.
Okay.
That sounds like what is it?
Yeah, no, how people talk and write is how they talk and write. I've got nothing against it. I'm just saying my American mouth doesn't know how to say such things.
Yep.
And I've not been to enough of the world to get any practice.
Me neither.
I've never had the opportunity of hanging out with a Welshman so that he could point out, no, you say it like this, frickety. Oh, okay, I'll call it frickety from now on instead of chicken.
Well, there you go.
For Porthcurno Bay alongside a live show in an open-air venue carved into the cliffs of Porthcurno. This theater enables succulent plants to grow on the open cliffside, providing an added dash of color to the Minack all year round.
Wow. I don't know what any of that meant, but it sounded awful fancy.
It sounds different.
Theater Superstitions. Now we only have two more, so.
Okay.
Say break a leg instead of good luck.
Yes.
It is said that breaking a leg is the concept you've crossed from the backstage into the playing area, and entering the spotlight is the ultimate goal of an actor.
Mm-hmm.
Don't wear anything in blue on stage. There is a saying that blue dye was very expensive back then, so producers discouraged performers to wear blue as time went on. It has become a rumor that blue costumes were unlucky in the theater, but it has not survived as strongly other superstitions.
I see. What a deal.
Was that it?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Didn't like last time.
Thank you, Krysta.
I wasn't sure because it may be in England, but I think it's a theater superstition everywhere. That for the most part, they don't call Macbeth. They refer to it as the Scottish play.
Oh, I didn't know about that one, but I'll take your word for it.
Backstage.
Because some reason, if you call Macbeth, it's bad luck.
All right, then.
In fact, there's an episode of Blackadder, which is this great English television show. It starred Rowan Atkinson, Mr. Bean, for those of you who know him, where he meets a couple of playwrights.
Mr. Bean?
Mr. Bean, yep. He meets a couple of playwrights. This is, I want to say, 1600-ish.
And is this the dude with the teddy, Mr. Bean, or a different Mr. Bean?
No, that's the dude with the teddy, Mr. Bean.
Yes, I loved Mr. Bean as a kid.
Well, Blackadder, not the same character, and he talks. He talks quite a bit in the Blackadder.
Mm-hmm.
But he has these two playwrights that he's being forced to work with, and he doesn't want to. And when he finds out that they have to go through this complicated ritual, whenever he says Macbeth, he spends the entire episode, whenever he's around them, saying Macbeth. Because you're not supposed to say it, you're supposed to call it the Scottish.
I see.
I suppose they made that up for that episode, and I could be wrong. So someone let me know. There we go. That's
Scottish play.
Yep. So let's start with the Landers Theater. It was built in 1909. It is the second oldest and largest civic theater in operation in Missouri. Another theater, the Baldwin Theater, had burned down earlier that year. Not in the same location, but in the same area.
Gotcha.
It has been in continuous use either as a legitimate theater, which is what they call theaters where they have live productions, or a movie theater since it opened. So it's never not been in use. In 1928, it became the 35th facility in the world to acquire sound film, or what they called at the time, the talkies. Yes, it was motion pictures with actual sound. Before that, what you had was a guy down front who would play the piano, and he would change it up for different scenes. And if they said something, it would just be like it would be a break in the action. Like if a woman was hollering help, for example, you'd see her like standing at a window and calling out, but you wouldn't hear her words. And then it would break the scene to put up, help, help, I'm trapped. And then it would go back to the action.
I see.
So, yeah. Silent films are interesting to watch. But they're fun. Anyway. So, yeah, it was the 35th. It was designed by architects Carl Baller and Brother, which actually is two guys named Baller. I forget what the other one's name is. In association with Hick and Lively and Mark of Springfield. It is designed in a French-influenced neoclassical style.
Well, there you go.
Now, it's located in the Walnut Street Commercial Historic District in Springfield, Missouri, which is also where the Baldwin Theater was, but again, not the same location, just it's that area.
Gotcha.
Nearly all the structural framing is done in wood, whereas in most theaters, they use stone and metal. The theater was designed for live performance with a large stage. The theater street facade employs Missouri limestone, piers, brick and other elements in an eye-catching design. A fire in 1920 completely gutted the stage area, but due to the asbestos curtains, the rest of the theater was virtually untouched.
Wow. Well, that was lucky.
Yes. The Landers was rebuilt and reopened on May 21st, 1921 as part of the Orpheum Circuit by Ensley Barber, and under his management, touring artists and vaudeville acts ranging from Fanny Bryce to John Philip Sousa have appeared on the Landers stage.
Cool.
So, lots of stuff going on at the Landers Theater. Other renovations moved the orchestra pit behind the curtain and raised the box seats and balconies. Also, the Jim Crow era ticket booth for what they called at the time collards and its separate entrance were removed.
Oh,
so
well,
that's a positive thing.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say.
Yay, less racism!
Woohoo!
Now, interesting fact from March 17th, 1961 to September 22nd, 1961. Five-Star Jubilee, a country music variety show that aired on Friday nights, was filmed and aired from the theater.
Cool.
It was the first network color show to air outside of New York or Hollywood.
That is pretty impressive.
Yep. The other nights of the week, so it filmed this on Friday, so the other nights of the week, it was a first-run movie theater, so people would go and see movies there.
Mm-hmm.
And it was placed on the National Register of Historic Places in 1977.
The year I was born.
Yes. So that's the Landers Theater, the basic, the bare bones, the background. There's more if you want to dig it up. There's a lot more. You can find all sorts of interesting things about the way it was put together. And
cool
this
facts
and the other,
about a cool historic place. And hey, come visit Missouri. It's a great place to visit. Beautiful
and
all year round.
Yes, and in that part of the state, there's lots of stuff to see.
Yes, absolutely.
Also, if you like outdoors, Springfield's your place.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, haunts. Don't be too surprised if you hear the cries of a baby. Chances are there isn't a baby in the audience, but the spirit of an infant who fell to his death in a tragic accident.
Oh, how sad.
So, but the sound of a baby crying in one of the balconies is heard to this day.
Well,
sometimes when nobody's in the theater, which freaks out actors that are rehearsing and janitors and things like that.
Well, I mean, yeah, it would make you a little nervous. I mean, there's nothing more blood-curdling than the wail of an infant, especially if you don't have an infant.
Right. Several other apparitions have been seen in the theater, too. Among them, a 6-foot-tall man who is known to lurk in the auditorium. A blonde-haired man wearing clothes from the Elizabethan era has also been seen peeking out of windows.
Ah.
If running into an apparition doesn't send chills down your spine, just make your way to the landing that separates the first and second floor balconies. Yeah, if you go there, what's going to happen is you're likely to see a green orb.
Are we talking Slimer?
No, we're not.
Are we talking
We're not talking Slimer. We're talking a green glowing orb. Now, I'm not a big one on orbs as evidence.
Yeah.
But that's only when they're on camera. Because on camera, almost every time they're a bug or a piece of grit and that the camera has flashed off of, right?
Fair,
so
yeah.
That's what creates your orb.
Sure.
This, nobody's been able to get a picture of, but they see it. Everybody sees it. And it's a green orb.
Ah.
Orb.
Yep.
Why the orb green? Why can't it be pink? Why can't it be purple? We don't know.
Now, also, that area of the theater is always bone-chillingly cold. And the orb is actually believed to be the spirit of a theater goer who was stabbed in that area many years ago.
Wow. This place just gets more and more cheerful by the minute.
Well,
when fire ripped through the theater in 1920, it claimed the life